Hey, this is Peter Schrager for Fox Sports. This is the cheat sheet. Here are 5 things that are on my mind. Number 1, Cooper Kupp's greatness was on display Sunday, and he did it in the clutchest of ways. Cooper Kupp had 7 different catches that were on third down. 6 of those were converted for first downs, and 2 of those were touchdowns. When we talk about the greatest players this season, we know that Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are going to be the debate for MVP. And Rodgers most likely will win it. But Aaron Rodgers is now on a couch somewhere, either in Malibu or in Green Bay or wherever his heart desires. Brady has now retired. Jonathan Taylor's nowhere to be seen. And yet Cooper Kupp, the guy that a lot of people were rallying for, saying, look what he's doing, was not only the clutchest player in the biggest moments, helped rallying that team down 10 in the fourth quarter of the NFC Championship game, but he is going into the Super Bowl riding a wave of momentum. Cooper Kupp is having a heck of a season. What I love most, it wasn't just a wide receiver who had a great regular season. He's had 3 straight 100-yard games in the playoffs, and I don't know if Cincinnati can stop him. Cooper Kupp, we see your greatness. Very, very impressive. Number 2, there is a case to be made for keeping Jimmy Garoppolo on the 49ers roster, but there is also a case to be made for ripping the Band-Aid off and trading him while there still may be a lot of value. I said on Colin Cowherd's show, The Herd, on Tuesday, that I think a late first, early second is probably the compensation for Jimmy Garoppolo, but in doing that, you would also shed a $25 million salary. And when you shed a $25 million salary, it means that you can give extensions and start talking contracts with some other players. Because guess what? Laken Tomlinson's deal is going to be up soon. You need to pay Laken Tomlinson. He's a very important player. Guess whose contract might be looming in the next 18 months? Deebo Samuel's contract. You might want to have some spare millions of dollars to pay Deebo Samuel. I would just say this, when considering the is Trey Lance ready or not conversation when talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, also consider the rest of the team, the salary cap, and where that $25 million that is going to be paid to Jimmy Garoppolo next year, either with the 49ers or elsewhere, and what that means for San Francisco if they can spread that around. I'm all for the Niners keeping Jimmy for one more year. I know the players are, I know everyone loves him. The question is, does it make fiscal sense, and are they really winning the Super Bowl with Garoppolo under center anytime soon? Number 3, why would Josh McDaniels want to leave New England to go to Las Vegas to work for Mark Davis and be the Raiders head coach? It's a great opportunity. I love this fit for Josh McDaniels, who hasn't been a head coach in 12 years. And I know it was a colossal blowout when he was the Denver head coach 2 years, had issues with other people in the building, gets fired. I would say this, 12 years later, he's a 45-year-old guy, and guess who he's bringing? Or guess who's gonna be there already? That's Dave Ziegler, who's the general manager. Dave Ziegler has been hired to run the Raiders. Ziegler, just so happens, was college football teammates at John Carroll University with Josh McDaniels. When Josh McDaniels got the Broncos job at the age of 32, he was able to assemble his staff. Guess who one of his guys that he hired and had underneath him in Denver was? Dave Ziegler. Guess who has been with him in New England for the greater part of a decade, winning those Super Bowls and along for the ride? Dave Ziegler. Josh McDaniels is not going to Vegas with a bunch of unknowns. He's not going to Vegas just on blind faith and a hope that it all works out. He's going to Vegas with one of his best friends and a guy that he's worked with for the greater part of more than a decade. I think it's a great time for Josh McDaniels to leave, especially if Bill Belichick hasn't said to him, hey, this is when I'm leaving and it's your job. I don't think he ever said that to him. I think Las Vegas is the perfect fit. Number 4, I love that Kenny Pickett is in Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl. And I know it's not the greatest quarterback draft. That's even more reason for Pickett to be down there. So Kenny Pickett's this great quarterback. His transfer goes to Pitt. He lights it up this year, and he's going to be a first-round pick. Question is he the first quarterback taken, the second quarterback, or the third quarterback taken? As a senior, you very rarely see these guys who are high prospects or hot names go to the Senior Bowl. But the few that have, Justin Herbert, Daniel Jones, Dak Prescott, I think it's really worked out for. And in the case of Herbert, everyone came out of that thing where he won Senior Bowl MVP and was the stud all week, and it was like, Are we underrating Justin Herbert? I mean, seeing him in the flesh, this guy was 6'6", he could throw the ball a mile. I think that's what Kenny Pickett saw and was like, I want to do that. I want to show people that what I'm about and how I look physically up front. So Kenny Pickett not necessarily needs to play in the Senior Bowl, and maybe he doesn't even play in the game. Doesn't necessarily have to be at these practices, but he knows that all those NFL teams are there, the media guys are there, and he wants to show off what he's got before he gets to the combine. Kenny Pickett, I like that decision. Number 5, Tim McVay is now a superstar in households everywhere in the NFL. Who's Tim McVay? Not the other Timothy McVay. Tim McVay is Sean McVay's father. And why is he getting the meme treatment? Because he was sitting up there in the Rams collared shirt in the box watching, and the Fox cameras caught him. You might be wondering, what's McVay's dad's deal? Well, I've had the honor to get to know Tim McVay through Sean. And his interesting story starts in college, where he was a safety for Indiana. But his father was the head coach of the New York Giants, and his father, Sean McVay's grandfather, John McVay, won 5 Super Bowl rings as the general manager of the San Francisco 49ers, of all teams. So here you've got Pops is the general manager of the Niners, 5 Super Bowl rings. His son is the head coach of the Rams. So what's Tim's story? Oh, he just so happened to be the general manager and vice president of the ABC affiliate in Atlanta. And that's after a wonderfully successful career in advertising. Tim McVay is a cool dude. I love that he got the national spotlight. I know he looked a little nervous in those photos and that visual on Sunday, but it's good for the country to get to know about him. And you know what? It's pretty cool. Dad, NFL legend. Son, NFL legend. Tim McVay, just a really good advertising guy. And that's this week's cheat sheet. We've got the Super Bowl next week. We got plenty of things to talk about and tear apart. We will. But enjoy the Pro Bowl. You'll watch it. We always do.